Thumbnail in vertical, had the camera in vertical and took the thumbnail, so let's see how it shows up. It's always hit or miss, and this time I've got the phone turned upside down. It's horizontal, but it's turned upside down. Usually I have the volume control and all that, channel up, channel down. I usually have that on the bottom, but now it's on top. So let's see what kind of a picture it gets. Need to put some of that junk in this bag. Get it thrown out. Gotta get over and wash my clothes. I got some ammonia. Go down and wash my clothes. Okay, is this thing in the way? My vinegar. Vinegar. Looking good, looking good. It's Bragg's vinegar. Bragg, actually. Bragg vinegar. Established in 1912. Let me see if I got it written down about what's going on with this, what's going on with the food industry. Kind of. Yeah. There's a new product that I just became aware of. It's called Straus. I guess that's spelled S-T-R-U-A-S. And they are selling raw organic milk just out of the blue, right? This is crazy. And they haven't said nothing. This is all going to be word of mouth when this gets out. Okay? And maybe I'll show it to you up here. Okay. Because, you know, people need to start telling their grocery store, you want this product. If it's good enough for people over in Pennsylvania and in Montana, then it's good enough for us here in California. Well, it's available. Don't ask me how. They are selling it. I just told you the name of the brand. It was Straus. I'll let you see a picture of it here in a little while. So, okay. So, where's my monitor phone? Monitor phone right here. It's such a hassle to do all this stuff. You know, especially when you got a weak signal. Hold on just one second. I'll get everything adjusted here. Now I'm gonna have to sneeze. So, remember the corned beef that I showed you? That is so weird that it showed that both were from South America. And that I went down and bought the products. Because they don't put them on the same shelf. They had this corned beef clear over on a different shelf. Right? That doesn't make sense. Corned beef should all be on the same shelf. Not have the stuff from South America over on a different shelf and then have the stuff from a different country over here on a different aisle. Okay, so but anyhow, the expensive one for $8. That one is like if you made the corned beef yourself. So you have to cook it, basically. You still have to cook it a little bit, and probably they expect you, to put in the potatoes and stuff like that. I think that's what they're trying to do, because it's I guess they send it that way you can just heat it up, let it cook a little bit. But it needs to be cooked a little bit because it's completely different than the other corned beef, right? If you've ever cooked corned beef, that's kind of like what it's like. And if you don't cook it, it's like rubber. Corned beef is kind of like rubberish. You can read the reviews. It says the same thing. Okay? And and on the corned beef that comes in that can that I said they should get rid of this can, if they would just make the corners a little bit wider on the can, if they'd make the corners a little bit wider, you'd have no problem opening it with the can opener. I opened this one with the can opener, but it's, going around the corners, it's kind of a, an issue trying to get the can opener to go around the corners, but it does work. And the lid comes right off of it, pops right off of it. So if they would just widen the corners on the corned beef, because when you use that key that they have there, that's cruelty to animals in the neighborhood. Okay? The only way to dispose of that damn thing is to put it in a compactor, and people don't have compactors. What? They're dumb? Right? How come the people from Auckland have enough brains to put it in a regular can, and these dumbles over here are still using this can that's freaking... There's no need to have a can like that. It's like freaking razor blades. And that little wind-up thing that comes out of it. So if they would just get rid of that damn key thing and just make it to where you can open it with the can opener. What's so difficult about that? It's like they want it that way. So they need to straighten up and fly right and start putting them in regular cans like the one from Auckland. The expensive one, which was $8.50, compared to the one, the Walmart brand, which was $3.50. And in my opinion, my humble opinion, no, you decide for yourself. But I'm looking to get some more, and so have to make another trip to Walmart. Okay, so let me just pull this up. Okay, we're on horizontal mode. Looks good. And the camera is actually tuning in good to where you can actually see. But I am not in the picture there. So, let me see, should I move it a little bit? I think I just leave it right there. As long as I stay on this side of the, whatchamacallit. Well, let me see if I can turn this down a little bit, because I just put a rubber band on it so it doesn't fall off. A rubber band man. Whoa, 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 whoa. How the hell did I put that on last time? Okay. There we go. Okay. There. That should ought to get her. That should ought to get her. That's pretty good. Okay. So, I'm still not in the picture. How about if I get rid of the comments? There, now I can see myself. No, not really. Okay, we need to turn this a little bit more. There we go. Why is it not freaking doing like it should? It's completely freaking turned that way. Oh well, you can see me right there. Okay, so let me show you this milk. Let me show you this milk real quick. And it's not just milk, they have ice cream, all dairy products. Turn this volume down. There. Okay, so Strauss. Yeah, it's called Strauss Family Creamery. Fluid Milk Company. So we'll check it out here. I'll show you. And this stuff is available in your stores. Look at this. Whole milk like the old days. It comes in a jar. The jar is reusable. And so they've got European style organic whole milk. Plain. I guess that's going to be yogurt in there. And they got sour cream, Greek, they've got chocolate ice cream, half and half. So this kind of milk, when you order it, the cream goes to the top. And so I guess you have to shake it or something. But it says it's minimally processed and it's not homogenized. But it's here. This stuff used to be illegal to sell in California. The only places that was getting it was Pennsylvania and Montana, and they were playing it off smooth for over 10 years. They were freaking playing it off smooth, and the people got wind of it, and now it's here. We got butter, unsalted butter, and so you can, click on this button and it'll find our products. But the only thing that I was able to find around here, the closest place is Fresno, and the only thing that I was able to find was ice cream. And this stuff here makes the stuff you get from Whole Foods. This is like Whole Foods 3.0. Okay. The benefits of having minimally processed milk and organic, completely organic, and not being homogenized. That's the kicker. If you want to find out about it, Kevin Trudeau is the one who would tell you about it. Okay. Whipping cream. So they got all this stuff. I don't know where they're at. I don't know where. I think they're in Northern California or something. Let me see, certified farmers. And guess what else I saw? Guess what else I saw? So it doesn't have any of the pesticides, herbicides, chemical fertilizers, GMOs, or bovine growth hormone. Okay? And it shows you all the stuff that it's got omega-3 fatty acids. So I've heard a lot about that. I don't know what the hell it is, but I've heard a lot about that, right? The omega-3s or whatever. So let's see where this place is at. See all the stuff they have? Ice cream, butter. I don't know what this is. Kefir? Never heard of that before. And eggnog. Oh man. Wow. Okay, so it's got view products, but I want to see where they're from. Yeah, see, our milk is not homogenized, so the cream floats to the top. Okay. And yeah, so I wonder where they're at. Let me see. Okay, well, I don't know where they're at right now. I'll find out later and let you know. Wait, here's contact. Okay. Contact us. Yeah, Petaluma, California. Santa Rosa. That's basically the area that started this whole Save the Planet. Santa Rosa, California, illegalized. They made it illegal to have open a gas station in the whole county. So they were leading the march for Save the Planet. So just thought I'd let you know that. But I used to, a long time ago, I used to drive a milk truck, and I went to Washington. I went to Washington State and all through Oregon and Idaho and I'd go to Petaluma to pick up. Back then they called it raw milk, but it wasn't really raw milk. They almost pasteurized. They almost treated it the same as just regular milk. You would see it in the store and they'd say raw. It wasn't really raw. This is the real McCoy. Okay, but it is here in California, and they just started selling this stuff, and it's not on mainstream news. I just found it by accident, right? I mean, by chance, just by chance. On Facebook, that's where I saw it, and so okay, also, guess what else I saw on Facebook? Eggs. There are people selling eggs. Have you ever had an organic, regular egg from people who, small people who have chickens? Have you ever had those eggs? Try to have some of those eggs and you'll see the difference. The eggs you buy at the store, the yolks are yellow. The organic eggs that you have we used to have chickens here. Those eggs, the yolk is orange, almost red. Okay? So there is a big difference. And I made a YouTube live stream like probably 2 years ago. I said, the answer is small farms, small farmers. That's the answer to get away from all this garbage they're giving us. There's Amos Miller Farms in Pennsylvania, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. There's Amos Miller Farms. They're getting all this good stuff. Okay? So I guess word is getting out. And now there's people. I don't know who they are, but I saw them on Facebook. And they're selling um, homemade eggs. You can go and buy them from these little farms. And and yes, it'd be good to have some type of government, regulation to check the place out. That'd be really, really good. Um, but I mean, you can judge yourself, right? And word of mouth. And these days with, reviews, if there's something not good about it, the people are going to let the people know. Word of mouth will let you know which ones are good and which ones are not clean, I mean. And but they're here. You can look on Facebook. There's people selling eggs. So that's pretty cool. So we got the milk, the dairy, we got eggs. So that's pretty damn good. And so there's different people making these YouTube live streams. And I said that probably 99% of them are just goofy. They're not talking about anything. And, well, they've been dumbed down. United States is like number 23 on most educated nations. The most educated nations on planet Earth, United States is number 23. Okay? And, well, I had an idea. You know what they should do, since they dumbed down everybody? And what they should do, because the people are so dumbed down, what they should do is get some kind of program for poor people. For poor people who don't have enough money to, spend $15 on something that would help them to not be so dumb. I think what they should do is make some kind of program for these people who get welfare, who get food stamps, government assistance. They should have a program there for free membership to Amazon Prime. Because on Amazon Prime, you get to listen to audiobooks for free. And let me show you this. I've showed it before. Okay, let me show you this book. Now, they were going to make a movie. The person who talks about milk is this guy right here. Is it any wonder they tossed him in prison for almost 10 years? Okay? That's the dude when he was younger. He's a lot older now. Okay? This book, all these poor people on food stamps, he's the one that tells you about milk, by the way. That's where I found out about it. All these people who are on food stamps, government assistance, even, a lot of them drink beer, right? Get high or whatever. They're not going to read a book, okay? A lot of them are not going to read a book. They'll be glued to the television set watching The Price is Right. And so this person said he was going to make a movie of everything what happened to him. But that has not materialized. I guess there's too much heat. Okay? So, if these people were to get a membership to Amazon, they have audio books in there. And this is one of them. Okay? This book is an audio book. You can actually get it on a 12 CD set. So you can listen to it in your car when you're driving. Right? When you go on long drives, you know, you can listen to these CDs. And it's 12 CD set. And this person who wrote this book, a New York Times best-selling book for 26 weeks straight in a row. Okay? Sold over 2 million copies. And this guy reads the book to you word for word on this CD set. So you could actually sit here with the book and put these in, and he reads it to you. So if the people on food stamps, welfare, and all this stuff, low-income people, would get a free membership from our government, give them a free membership to Amazon Prime, so they could go in and listen to this, because they're not going to spend $14 on the membership. I know you can do it for free for a month, right? But you got to go in and cancel. And a lot of people think that that's a scam, right? Because they don't cancel it out, and then you receive a charge, and then there goes, you know. A lot of people don't want to subscribe, because sometimes it's a little bit difficult to unsubscribe. You have to go in there and look for, you know, where to do it. But it's not too difficult. But let me see here. Now, how the hell are you? Oh yeah. Let me get back here. Oh great. I gotta set this TV to where it stops doing that crap. So yeah, that would be something good for this nation to do, because these people are going to be Dumbosville, laughing stock of the rest of the world. They're number 23 as it is. They've been dumbed down so bad. They actually wrote a book about it, The Dumbing Down of America. I never read it, but I've seen it. So, for any of you, you can go on eBay. They have these. They're like under 10 bucks. When it first came out, it was like 39. That'd be like $60 in today's money. So if you look on eBay, you can find this if you want to listen to it in your car. But if you're, you know, another way you can do it is sign up to Amazon Prime, right? For a month for free, and then you can cancel at any time. But the important thing is to listen to this. Look for the book on Amazon and click on where it says audio book. Okay? So, and you'll hear all about this stuff, about the milk. They didn't have this stuff before. They would throw you in prison. Now it's here, and they didn't even tell the people anything about it. Like it's no big deal. Okay, books are a little bit dusty. Okay, so there's these people, and they're just ridiculous, right? It's like you're living on planet Dumbosville instead of sharing useful information. Right? There's only a few people. I told you there's one. It's Amazing Strong Woman or something like that. She's on right now doing a live stream. And then there's those other two I told you about. But this other lady, there's a lady on here, and she's from another country, and she's making these videos. She's got about 30 to 50 people will be in the room at times. And she's talking about, relationships. And if you read the comments, you'll see, if you go on here and you start, giving your opinion of this and that, you'll see in the comments, people can pick up on, where you're, twisted, right? And so you could see somebody in the comments said, the person said, I mind my own business. I worry about my own relationships. I don't worry about other people's relationships or tell them what to do or this and that. And, well, they have a point. And why is she not in a relationship? And so I would argue to say, or it begs the question, I finally figured out what that means. I read it somewhere the other day. It stands to reason that I kind of forgot my point, but so she's here saying, well, this is what's wrong with this one, this is what's wrong with that one, and the man should know martial arts, and the man should, find a physical activity, right? All this stuff. And she leaves completely out of the equation. I've said this over and over again. Oppression, financial oppression, social and economic injustice. Okay? And so she's saying all this stuff, and she's like, and we should not have to work. The woman should be making herself look beautiful. I think she's in love with herself or something, right? I mean, it's good to love yourself, but I mean, too much is no bueno. And so well, why don't I think some women should get a job, do something useful, strive to be your best. Like this judge over in Chicago, Sarah Ellis, what she just did, right? She's not sitting at home, making herself beautiful 24 in front of the making YouTube videos, right? Gonna put in all the makeup to make a YouTube live stream, right? How does that help society? And it's one-sided. And so look what this judge just did. These ICE agents went over to Chicago, and they freaking tear gassed kids in their Halloween costumes. They were going to a Halloween festival, pre-festival, right? Because it's not Halloween yet until 2 more days. It'll be Halloween. But they were, dressed up in their Halloween suits and stuff, and freaking ICE freaking tear gassed them. And or right by them, tear gassed the kids. And so the judge told the head honcho over there, I guess is appointed by Orange Man, right? And And he's like the leader. His name is Boz Bosco or something like that. Bonso or something. I forget his name, but he's the leader of ICE. And she freaking told him straight. This, in a way, it's cold-blooded, right? I mean, you wouldn't want this to happen. Shows you how much power a judge has, right? This leader of the ICE, she told him, I want you here every day at 6, I think it's 6 a.m. Yeah, it'd have to be, it couldn't be 6 p.m. At 6 o'clock in the morning, I want you here every day reporting to me, let me know what you're doing out there. So you look at his picture, he looks freaking stressed big time, right? That's like the whips and chains, right? And yeah. So, he's used to being, up there and stuff, and now he knows the power of a judge, right? That's crazy. Check it out yourself. It's a Judge Sarah Ellis over in whatchamacallit. She's immigrant herself, or she's neutralized or something like that. Okay, so yeah. I think there's a book that talks about this, about that, what that one girl, the way she sees the world. It's through like rose-colored glasses. I never read the book, but somebody always used to recommend that I read that book, but I never did read the book. And I went looking for the book Rose-Colored Glasses. There's a country song called Rose-Colored Glasses, and there's a bunch of different books, so I don't know which one it was originally, right? So I won't be reading that, but I think that's probably, I don't know. I don't know what's in the book, so I don't know what it's about. Okay, so yeah, free memberships to Amazon for the dummies. Okay, all the people sitting at home eating freaking potato chips and watching The Price is Right, doing the couch potato. Give them a free membership so they can listen to that CD set. It's entertaining. They'll listen to the whole thing once they start listening to it. It's unbelievable. And there was actually supposed to be a movie that shows you the craziness of what happened. Why it happened, ultimately the creator is in charge. But the Judge Guzman, Puerto Rican or Cuban. Judge Guzman said, you are deceitful to the core, and threw him in prison for 10 years. That's his opinion, okay? Do you throw somebody in prison for 10 years because you think the dude is, deceitful to the core? They threw him in prison, gave him a 10-year sentence for, contempt of court, which is not a felony. It's not even a misdemeanor. The longest sentence ever given to anybody in the United States for contempt of court in the United States history. And they didn't say a word. How's that for constitutional rights? First Amendment and the amendments to the Constitution. And mainstream media didn't say a word about it. Longest prison sentence ever given to anybody in the United States in United States history was to Kevin Trudeau, that book that I just showed you, for contempt of court. Okay? And so it's on audiobook. And okay, now talking about electric vehicles. Okay? Other people around the world are cleaning up the planet. You know that there used to be this place, I think it's called Changdong in China. It's the richest city in China. And it used to be the most polluted place in China, the whole nation or country, nation of China. It was the most polluted from all the cars, right? From all the cars, it was like Los Angeles used to be, right? It's just a billow of gray freaking pollution, smog. And now they got rid of all the um, internal combustion engines. The whole city, the richest city in China, runs on electric cars, and the air is clean now. And so, you know, China and Japan, just like in the old Chinese movies, the triple irons. Remember the triple irons? This was when Bruce Lee movies were coming out. Kung Fu. Bruce Lee was like Kung Fu 3.0, right? And that they had like this triple irons come out, and you'd always have the Japanese fighting with the Chinese. And well, I guess the Chinese were portrayed as the good guys, right? Go watch it yourself. And so these electric cars are the best technology. They're 10 years ahead of these cars that are over here, the cars that we have. The technology and the electronics, the software, the self-driving is 10 years more advanced than the stuff we get. People all around the world are buying these cars. Europe is buying them. South America is buying them. Australia, New Zealand. They're all buying these cars, but they're not allowed here. Maybe when Orange Man talks to Xi Jinping tomorrow, they're supposed to be having a meeting, maybe they'll let a few of these cars over here, the inexpensive ones. And so I mean, Xpeng has cars that fly. You can go and you can watch it. They're in that city. That's where I got this information from. And so we here in the United States, there's a lot of electric cars, okay? But there's 3 different kinds of electric cars. There's electric cars from the United States, which is like Ford, Chevy, which Chevy made the Bolt. If you do the research on the Chevy Bolt, I read in Consumer Reports, it's not dependable, okay? Not like the other vehicles that are around the world. And so they got Chevy, Dodge, Ford. You know, these are American electric vehicles, which they're still trying to keep a secret. I didn't know they had all these cars. They've got electric cars. BMW is making a shitload of freaking electric cars. Okay? And you know, you can go on this certain website and they give you a rebate for used cars that'll give you the whole list of these zero emissions vehicles that people don't even know are here. They're hiding them. But anyway, there's 3 different kinds of electric cars. One is the electric cars that are made here, right? Which you pay what? $50,000. By the way, Subaru is making I think that's Japanese. Subaru is making a very nice electric car. And it's got the full self-driving. I'm not sure if it's full self-driving or if it's just the one that stays in the lane. That's freaking awesome. And it's got some other safety features, right? because it uses, I guess, the lidars and stuff. But Subaru is making a good product. Something that I'm going to start looking into. I forget the name of it, but anyhow, so you have three different kinds. You have the kind that are made here in the United States, which are like Ford, Chevy, Cadillac, Lincoln, and and then you have cars from Japan, which is Japan made the first one that was, produced on a large scale professionally, which was in 2011, even though Toyota actually had an electric car right back in 1998. 1998, 99, 2000, 2001, right? More than a decade. People don't even know that it exists. And so you have these cars from Japan. They made the Nissan Leaf. That was the first one, in 2011. That was the first generation. Thousands and thousands of them. Where the Toyota that was released more than a decade before, they only made 25,000 of them, and they only sold them in California. Okay? So there's very few left of them. And there's only so much of them left that you can find, the first generation. And the second generation started in 2012, I think, right after Nissan launched theirs. And so these are Japanese cars. There's also Mazda, and I guess Subaru is also from Japan, right? These are all good companies, okay? And they're making the electric vehicle, but I'm pretty sure that they are not actually making them. They buy them from someone else, and then they just put their brand on it, okay? I know at least one of them is doing that now. I don't know about the others. I don't know about Mazda or Nissan. I don't know what the deal is with that. And I've also heard that Honda is actually built here in the United States now. Honda and another one, I don't know which one. I went in looking for it and I couldn't find it again. The point is, you got cars made here in the United States, cars made in Japan, and cars made in China. Everybody has access to these cars except the United States. They will not let the Chinese electric cars into the United States, because if they get here, all the people who bought Teslas are going to feel like freaking idiots. Okay? And so maybe they'll let a few of these Chinese electric cars get here, because that's where the technology is. It's in the Chinese electric vehicles. As a matter of fact, Toyota buys their cars from China, okay, and then just puts their, like I just said, and resells them. And and they're kind of designed down, but BYD is Tesla. Elon Musk used to laugh about BYD. When I just watched this morning, BYD was a competitor, and BYD started by making batteries. They weren't even making cars yet. They were just making batteries. And I don't know if they took it out of context or not, but Elon Musk just kind of like laughed, like, they are not a competitor. And now they are the largest manufacturer on planet Earth of electric vehicles. They can pump out different models just like that. And so maybe they'll let the Seal over here, the sedan, if there's any cars, well, actually the SUV is what I'm looking at now. So let's see what kind of SUVs they got. And I guess there's some there's a truck called, what's the name of it? It's a weird name. Slate. There's a Slate being made around here. They're even making electric cars right here where I'm at. 40 miles away, they're making electric cars. Faraday Future. Because it's not like the old internal combustion manufacturer. This is like building a computer, right? And I heard one the other day. I was going into Walmart and I heard one. It wasn't an internal combustion engine. It was electric. You could hear it. It was like whoom, whoom, whoom. Just like, remember the electric cars? You used to have the racetrack. They were like Hot Wheels. Well, the first Hot Wheels, you would charge them up, right? You'd charge them up, then you'd just put them on the track and they just ran at one speed. And then they had these other Hot Wheels that you had the controller for them. And it goes zip, zip, zip. When you press the accelerator, it's a rheostat. When you press it, it just smoked the tires, right? And that's what they sound like. And if you look at them, that's what they look like. They look like these the cars that used to be on the way they designed them, and they sound like it too. And I guess they're releasing a Tesla here, and it does 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds or something like that. So you could pass out. If you're not physically fit, you could pass out. So yeah, there's 3 different kinds of cars. And the ones that's the cutting edge of technology, the software's 10 years more advanced than anybody else, is China. Okay, so you got cars from Japan, you got cars from the United States, and you got cars from China. Okay, that's the difference on these electric vehicles. And so yeah. Okay, yeah, okay. So that's all I've got for right now. And thanks for tuning in. This TV, I got to set it to where it stops turning off. That way it has something nice to look at on the background. Did anybody even come into the comments? Let me check. How do you get back to the comments? I don't know how to get back to the comments. Let me see up here. Nope. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. If you left comments, I don't know because I hid the comments. So I don't know if you left comments. But if you did, thank you. And be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bells. Hit the notification bell.